And now, from the studios of RaunchFoxxcast Radio in the sweltering heat of the Arizona desert, it's time for the RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast. With your host, 6'10" RaunchFoxxx, the smokescreen machine, Hollywood, and our daily dose of southern discomfort, Bubba Ganoush. So sit back, strap in, and get ready for another great ride. Here's your host, RaunchFoxxx.
All right, everybody. Hey, what's up? It's RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast, episode number 15, right here on earthcastradio.com. What's up, everybody, man? 15 weeks into it. And has it been hectic? There's so much going on. We've got basketball playoffs. We've got stuff going on in baseball. We keep getting crappy stories about the Malaysian flight. And then we've got E. coli jumping out all over us, popping up in the news. We've got perverted people on the internet. We've got stuff that makes you sick when you eat. We've got it all tonight, right here on the Foxxcast! So hello, everybody. Once again, RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast brought to you by our sponsor, littleurls.com. That's LILURLS, littleurls.com, where you can make a commission just by shortening your links. And you know you have to, especially when you're on Twitter, and they give you $1.40 to say it. So if you got to shorten a link, do it on littleurls.com. Also, if you refer people to the site, you can get up to a 20% commission. Tonight, we've got Pollywood, we've got Bubba Ganoush, and back by special request because there's so much crap out there that we're eating. Chef Lou has graced us with his presence, and he'll be coming in from Atlanta, Georgia tonight to let us know what we should and shouldn't be eating. So with that being said, let's get started. Paulie, how are you, my friend?
I'm very well, Raunch. I had a really good Memorial Day weekend, did a little bit of kayaking, had a bald eagle fly directly overhead while I was on the lake, probably about 20 feet, 25 feet up above me. You don't mistake this bird for any other kind of bird either, man. I mean, they are one of a kind.
Bald,
yeah, absolutely bald.
So when she flew over, did you have her leg spread? I just had to ask. They're beautiful birds. You know, we see those out here in the canyons of Arizona as well. When you get out into the lakes and go way down into the canyons, they're sitting up there on the side of the mountain walls, and they're a beautiful thing, man. So they're
coming back. You know, they're coming back, and I'm just really excited about tonight's show, man. How about you?
Well, I mean, I'm glad. I don't know about you. I'm just glad I woke up this morning. That's where you laugh. Say, you're not that old, Raunch. All right, I'll keep it third grade level. I don't want to get you got to get warmed up. Paulie's good for that. Paulie's so excited. He's so excited. But Bubba, are you excited?
I am exuberant.
Oh, hold me back, everybody. That's what happens when you drink. What is that shit you drink all day long? Red Bull?
Okay, I'm full of caffeine. You can tell by my exuberance.
Yeah, I could tell by that answer when you said, So that's why you say so damn skinny. I'm thinking, man, this guy's got like a serious, what are you, like mid-30s, right?
Yeah.
And you got a metabolism that's, what are you, like 140 pounds, 6'2" or something?
Man. Barely 140.
But
6'3".
but you're a horny dude, too. Like, you probably were with all the strippers, but we already had the story about how it gets less attractive as time goes on.
Masturbation's a calorie burner.
Yeah, well, Dr. Ruth will tell you the same thing. So not only that, I'm thinking, man, your wrists must have like little muscles around the wrist bones there. And
yeah, I'm like Popeye in my right forearm.
I like that. That's good.
It's funny you mentioned the forearms because I kept steering to the left as I was, paddling the kayak this week. Definitely one of my two forearms a little bit bigger than the other.
Is that slang?
I've got to get back into shape.
Is that slang in upstate New York? We're talking about masturbation and beating off, and you said, kayak. Yeah, I'm steering it to the left, and while I was playing with the kayak, Well, that's pretty good, I guess. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm not going to call my dick a kayak, I'm going to say, hey, when I was, like I was walking the nuclear submarine, That's how to, what about you? What would you call yours, Bubba? Let's go ahead and get you into the conversation. So he's a kayak.
Mine might be the Native American dugout canoe. I like a little history with my penis.
All right, Peanut. So that's all right. He's a wigwam. He's a teepee. Now he's 2 tenths. I know the joke. It's a bad one. But anyway, Peanut, Paulie, and his little kayak, everybody. Well, at least I hope it was a two-man. I hope it's at least a two-man kayak, Paulie, just to save face.
How many men?
No. This kayak's still just a one-man deal, and it'll always be a one-man deal. And
Well, that's important. Of course, then again, you had some close calls with your threesome activity one time. But anyway, well, good. Hey, guys. Hey, man, it's great to be back. It's been a week already. We need to start doing these at least twice a week, because I got people going, hey, how come you only do them once a week? I said, because we do it every Wednesday or Thursday.
I'm pretty busy.
Yeah, we got to get into Bubba's schedule. He's got to check his black book. Paulie's got to determine where he's going to be, and then I just get on Google data and see where the hell I've been, which I don't
when
like.
You got three guys who almost never shut up. It's understandable why we could do more than one show a week, and eventually I'm sure we will.
Well, yeah, we've been known to talk on more than one day of the week.
Yeah, usually for about an hour at a time either.
At least. Well, anyway, so, as we always do, I like to spoof the news. So I bring up some current events, and then we come back and we banter. And gosh, we got a lot to talk about this week. We got some cool segments. We got Bubba and his first official, even though he did a teaser last week with his social spite cast, where he talks about all the freaks of nature out there in the social broadcasting arena. We got it all tonight. But let's talk a little bit about what is going on out in the news. They've got they're using sharks to help predict hurricane intensity. I don't know if any of you read any of that or not. There's some good stuff out there about it. And keep in mind, folks, you think I'm joking, but all these stories are true. We just like to put a funny twist on. But there's actually a group of scientists. They've actually started attaching sensors to the sharks to help predict hurricane intensity. Now, if they could just find someone who will agree to attach the sensors to all the sharks, it might work. I mean, just saying. Now, also, let's talk about this for a minute. Everybody else says, Bob, I promise you, after tonight, I'll never bring it up again. Who got married?
Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, Kim Ye's, right? Well, over the weekend, they were in Italy. I agree, Bubba. I agree. Over the weekend, they got married, doing the marathon duties as father of the bride, best man, and maid of honor was Bruce Jenner. Also, as you know, Kim and Kanye, now that they're wed, the ceremony, it had all the traditional symbols. There was the something new, something new, something old, something new was Bruce Jenner's face. And it was awkward when Kim first was told that they were going to be married in Florence. She said, okay, but I always dreamed of getting married in Italy, So it's fat ass thing. Anyway, London Mail. The London Mail said pro-women tennis players are selling ad space for sponsors' logos. Oh, well, they're putting it on their shirts, but guess where? The logos they're putting them over each tit. That's right, over each breast. Yeah, pure genius. I mean, the line to get into Meineke mufflers is going to be really embarrassing about 10 minutes after every women's match at Wimbledon, But anyway, also New York Standard Hotel. They fired the employee who sold that security video of Beyonce's sister Solange, assaulting her brother-in-law Jay-Z in the hotel elevator. The elevator now has a sign urging hotel guests to take the stairs in case of fire or Solange. Yeah. Australian coastal workers, they've warned surfers of tiger sharks. I saw this is freaking me out. I got some buddies down in Australia, but they warned the surfers of tiger sharks approaching the Melbourne beaches. The average 17-foot shark, they average 17 feet in length, 3,000 pounds. Now, these guys swam right past 24 swimmers who learned for the first time in their lives that adrenaline is brown. Yeah. Also, while paper currency can spread disease, as you know, that's why I like to use a debit card, coins cannot because their base metals are antibacterial, which is why you should never, in an emergency, cover a skinned knee with a $100 bill, as you often see that in an NBA pregame practice. I like chocolate. Anybody, you guys like chocolate? I don't like the milk chocolate with all the crap. I do like dark chocolate. I like that Ghirardelli, like 93% cocoa. You guys into candy at all, or you just suck down the Red Bull?
Yeah,
well, I do like milk chocolate. I've got a bit of a sweet tooth.
You like milk chocolate. You like milk. I try to stay away from the dairy as much as possible, even though the dark chocolate is there. Well, anyway, the confectioners Hershey and Godiva, they're actually in competition. They're going what you want to say is sweet tooth to acquire Russell Stover candies. They're battling for it. That's the nation's third largest chocolate maker. The bids are predicted to go north of $1 billion, sweetened by a substantial contribution from the American Dental Association. How about Applebee's or TGI Fridays? Have you ever eaten at any of those?
I got fired from an Applebee's. Don't really like chain restaurants like that.
Well, interesting you say that. They've been around for decades, as you know, Applebee's, TGI Fridays. They're actually being edged out by the fast casual restaurants like Chipotle and Panera. The experts predict that both will soon be overtaken by super fast casual franchises that will offer entrees that arrive at your table. Also, they'll be pre-chewed and ready to swallow. So there you go. Also out there's a study that says age 40 years old, Bubba, you're getting close. 40 is not too late for men to start intensive exercise. However, the person who gets the most intensive exercise is the one who tries to actually get them up off the couch. Also, everybody remember, Fred Durst, right? Freddie Durst?
Lead singer of Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit. He's directed a commercial for eHarmony. Apparently, the ad stresses that if you use other dating sites, you might end up with someone like Fred Durst. You know what I'm saying? That just might happen. It could happen. Oh, you know who else is in the news? Bubba, don't get angry. I know it's one of your favorites. Taylor Swift. She's out there.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's your girl. I know. Yeah, well, she's pulling the plug on next week's concert in Thailand after the military staged a bloodless coup, which is kind of ironic because a few years back, a bloodless coup was how Taylor Swift became the fucking pop star she is today. Any of you guys tennis players or tennis fans at all? Tell the truth.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh,
Sorry.
really? Oh, okay.
No.
Bonjour. Well, the French Open has begun. Now, how is this tennis tournament like David Cassidy?
How is it like David Cassidy?
I'm going to tell you, got a lot of doubles before noon, I know I lied and said I wasn't going to talk about Kardashian and Kanye, Kim and Kanye, but they're honeymooning in Ireland.
Yay.
Yeah, I mean, to which Ireland said, well, we had the potato famine. Haven't we suffered enough? And Bubba gave me this when he was telling me that down there in Tennessee, they reinstated the electric chair for death row inmates. Of course, it has been updated and modernized. They tell inmates, hey, you've just won a brand new Tesla. That's fucked up. But they did. They reinstated it right there in Nashville.
It runs on cold.
Burger King will now deliver your Whopper.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no need to reheat it, though. It's hot from the same evil fires that power Miley Cyrus. And for you Indy 500 fans, NASCAR fans, Kurt Busch, he raced in the Indy 500. He raced in the NASCAR Charlotte 600 this past week. An amazing 1,100 miles of driving and not one gas station hot dog. Shocking fans, soccer legend Landon Donovan was left off of the U.S. World Cup team headed to Rio and will not get his 5th trip to the games, which goes to show you that to stay on top in soccer, it does help to marry a Spice Girl. Also, Census Bureau, I know, Paulie, I know you like statistics. Well, here's one for you. The average age in the U.S., says a report from the Census Bureau, is 22 years old, and that's due to immigration and more people living longer. Now, a bigger factor is poor high school math bad high school math scores. It seems that most teens are satisfied if they can calculate their age within 2 years, give or take. FDA, they ran a study of cereals. What kind of cereals do you guys like? You like the sugary, crunchy stuff, or is the health foods like you like Kashi, or do you like Captain Crunch? What do you guys eat?
It's a mix of the two. Although I got to admit, I probably haven't eaten a bowl of cereal in 5-6 years.
Wow, how about you, Bubba?
I live on cereal, man. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is my favorite.
Well, the FDA ran a study of cereals. They found Kellogg's Sugar Smacks contains the highest amount of sugar. The cereal is marketed to the type of little boy who wants to grow up to be mayor of Toronto. That's why the toy in every box of Sugar Smacks is a camera phone. And as we get ready to wrap things up out on the West Coast, Beverly Hills Hotel was boycotted by Hollywood stars over hotel owner, the Sultan of Brunei, enacting Sharia law in Brunei. It's a clash of two civilizations. In Brunei, couples who commit adultery get stoned, while in Beverly Hills, couples get stoned and commit adultery. And wrapping it up for you horse fans out there, California Chrome will run for the Triple Crown at the Belmont after New York racetrack officials dropped its rule against allowing horses to wear nasal adhesive strips. The strips open up the nasal passage, putting them on as a pregame ritual at Charlie Sheen's house. And that's the way we see the news in and around the world here on the Foxxcast. Don't go anywhere. We hope you like that one. We always do. We try to keep it real for you. And when we come back, we're going to continue this mess with Pollywood, with Bubba Ganoush. Later on, we got Chef Lou. We got Pollywood with some more crazy news, and he's going to show you his view. And then after that, Bubba Ganoush and the Social Spikecast. So keep it where you got it, right here. Foxxcast will be back right after this.
We'll be back with more of the RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast here on Earthcast Radio. No whims. You know if you belong. Stay tuned.
Looking for a way to create some potential income while doing the very same things you do every day on the internet? Well, the answer is here. LittleURLs.com. That's LILURLs.com. A link shortening service that pays you to shorten your links on the internet. When text space is limited and you have to shorten your URLs, simply go to littleurls.com. That's LILURLs.com. Get the short link and share that link all over the internet and receive commissions for traffic that you generate. And refer users to the Little URL site and get a 20% commission. You've tried the rest, now try the best and get paid to shorten your links with Little URLs. The only place you won't come up short is in your pocket. LittleURLs.com. That's LILURLs.com.
Parece que fue ayer, papá. Me acuerdo cómo lloraba. No yo, mi primer perrito. ¿Recuerdas cómo brincaba y me lamía la cara? Mi perro y yo nos volvimos grandes amigos. Casi tan buenos amigos como tú y yo, papá.
Nunca se sabe cuáles recuerdos son para siempre. Toma el tiempo y hoy sea un buen papá. Marca el 1877-432-3411 o visítanos en www.fatherhood.com.
Mensajes del Departamento de Salud y Servicios Humanos de los Estados Unidos y el Ad Council.
Are you tired of being alone on Valentine's Day? Well, here at Seniors Matchmakers, we will match you with the date of your dreams. If you are over the age of 65, Seniors Matchmakers can fill your prescription for love.
Thanks to Seniors Matchmakers, I met Agnes. She's amazing, great cook, fun, organized, and the way she polishes my cane, wow, what a shine.
At Seniors Matchmakers, we screen all our applicants, and with our state-of-the-art compatibility software, you'll have your match in minutes.
Oh, Senior Matchmakers gave me a second chance at love. No, wait, third. I forgot about Henry.
Join Seniors Matchmakers and find love today. Not responsible for matches who expire prior to your date. Sponsored in part by Sparkle's Funeral Home.
RaunchFoxxx. Hey, it ain't gonna suck itself. What are you waiting on?
With Valentine's Day not too far away, are you finding it hard to come up with that extra special Valentine's gift for Grandma?
Yes. I hate just sending the same old cards and flowers.
Then why not delight them with silhouettes?
Silhouettes? I've sent her plenty of pictures of the kids.
Yes, but those weren't silhouettes. Silhouettes are profile outlines of your children, completely blacked out against a white background, suitable for framing.
But you can't even tell who the people are.
Silhouettes can be proudly displayed like fine art.
Why would anyone want to know what my kids look like blackened out from the side?
It's a revered craft. A true conversation piece.
Yeah, the conversation goes, who's that, a cartoon character?
Silhouettes are reasonably priced, considering the priceless joy they bring.
Really, I could just spill ink on a page and it'd be the same. Mom doesn't see so good anymore.
This Valentine's Day, consider the gift of silhouettes, sure to be cherished by anyone over 80.
Hi, welcome back to Are You Smarter Than a Democrat? I'm your host, Jeff Foxworthy, and my career is over. Let's meet our panel of Democrats, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, and ex-President Bill Clinton. And here's today's contestant, current President George W. Bush. George, do you think you are smarter than a Democrat?
Heck yes. Now I'd like to cheat off Barack Obama.
We haven't asked a question yet.
Yeah, but he seems crazy smart.
Okay, first question. Remember, you can't pick one person to cheat off of once we ask.
It'll be just like Yale.
Exactly. Right. Here's your question. Should there be a deadline for troop withdrawal from Iraq?
B.
Not a multiple choice question.
I want to cheat on Hillary.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Man, you got me there. That is so wrong.
5 seconds, Mr. President.
Wherever Barack said.
Well, let's read Barack's answer. George Bush is a redneck.
Count it.
That's good. Redneck. He might be a redneck. I hate my job. We'll be back with more Are You Smarter Than a Democrat right after this.
Get ready to achieve multiple eargasms with the biggest stroke job in cyberspace. If the microphone was a clit, none of you bitches would complain about a long, drawn-out speech. RaunchFoxxx and the cyber sickness, getting people off on their own computers.
Oh, baby, when I'm not busy, I listen to Bubba Ganoush on RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast. Give me some of that sweet hospitality, baby.
We now take you inside a Snickers advertising exec boardroom. Tune on, right? Tune on. All right, everybody, can I get your attention, please? Now we need to pick our ad for the Super Bowl. Denise, run through the choices.
Okay, people, here they are. One, the two mechanics who accidentally kiss, like, Lady in the Tramp.
Too safe. We're going up against beer commercials with a Disney movie.
I agree. We want to be politically correct, not boring. Continue, please, Luscious.
Two, the bikers who pull the Snickers out of a saddlebag and smoke it.
Edgy, yes, but I don't like it. I've tried it and it doesn't work. Burns too slow.
Hey, we want to take a stand on helmet laws. We don't need that kind of press. Go ahead, baby, shake that thing.
Okay, three is the two sheep herders who lose the Snickers in a sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm.
They dive in after it and come up merry.
Oh, I love it. It's genius. That's perfect.
Super Bowl ad. That is awesome.
What about PETA? The sheep do get left out of the tent in the cold.
What? That's the last time we let one of these hippies in here. Get her!
This has been Inside a Snickers Advertising Exec Boardroom.
And now, back to the only white man that made Shaquille O'Neal look away in the men's locker room. RaunchFoxxx, packing more penis than a Lance Bass Elton John sausage fest.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast, Earthcast Radio, episode number 15. And we are here together again for the first time this week. Yours truly, RaunchFoxxx, Paulie Wood, Bubba Ganoush. We got Chef Lou coming in later on to talk about stuff that you've probably been eating all along, but you may not want to do it after that. So anyway, guys, what's been happening? Well, I got in a swimming pool earlier today. The water was in the high 70s, which is, it's 106 degrees out here in Phoenix today. And I got in. Jen got in for a little while. And, I stand in the deep end at 6'10" and say, come on in, the water's fine. And these little kids, they want to get in the pool when they come to visit Uncle Ray or Grandpappy Ray. Scares the shit out of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's it cost to keep that thing a year?
Well, it's not heated, bro. It's Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's just a cost of weekly maintenance, and that's it, man. So, it works out. The water stays clear all through. Of course, we do get the monsoons, the heavy rains. We get those dust storms. But, they clean up pretty quick out here. I got to be honest with you.
You handle all that yourself?
No, I don't. I do the chemical testing, but got a guy that comes in once a week, and he does such a great job, and he's in and out of here so quick, don't even know he's here. So it's kind of maintenance free for me, but he does a great job. He really does.
What a cool job, pool boy, man. That's got to be awesome.
I guess. Of course, he sees me looking out the window at him, licking my lips. Is like that's a wrong fucking thing. I'm probably not what he wants to see, but. The only reason I'm licking my lips is because I had some sugar smacks earlier, the high fructose and the sugar. Anyway, so what else is going on? I'm trying to think. Oh, today also, I noticed this, and listen to this, Paulie. I was looking up in the sky. You could see it was the freakiest thing, man. I was looking at chemtrails today. They were just dissipating slowly. I swear to God, except for the sun, both sides, the right and left side of the sun, were completely blue skies, but there was a patch of chemicals over top of the sun today. I should have took a picture, man. It was the freakiest thing. Like somebody just laid a big patch over the sun. And it was coming through the gray fog, if you will. The craziest thing was like a perfect hit when they put those chemtrails out there today.
Well, you know what? You're so used to seeing them at this point. It's almost not even photo worthy. I mean, almost every other day they're up there spraying, and they're spraying God knows what. But I mean, you've posted some excellent video evidence and some excellent pictures over the past few weeks, man.
Yeah, but forget the checkerboards. It was just a big clump over the sun, and it was completely blue all around it. It was the weirdest friggin' thing. So it was a little bit different today, but man, this pool feels too good. I'm not getting out. Except for the male and female wasp. Those horny little son of a bitches, they kept flying over the wall and coming in and dipping into the pool today. And Jen, if she gets stung, she doesn't know if she's allergic to bumblebees, honeybees, wasps. I guess nobody likes a wasp, but she can get that, what's it called, anaphylactic shock or whatever the word is.
Anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, and so she's got to have one of those EpiPens with her at all times. She was coming, we went for a ride the other day. I was on a Harley and she was on her scooter. And she got zapped right on the rib cage by a little bee, but it wasn't enough to set her off. But she got 3 welts within 5 minutes. So she took the topical Benadryl and then drank half a bottle of children's Benadryl, which goes into your system quicker than a couple pills. And she settled down. But of course, it's been years since she's had that reaction. But she didn't want to take any chances, So kind of crazy like that. How about you, Bubba? You do anything this weekend? You get out and about, or you got the strippers and then you got all the good stuff going on, or did you just take it easy? What'd you do? Anything exciting?
Yeah, I got a friend who has a pool, and we go there every Memorial Day. Every year, we've done it for probably the past 10 damn years. It's actually really cool because he lives in a neighborhood that is grown up around his house, and no one's allowed to have an in-ground pool because of the pipes. And
right.
He is because it was grandfathered in, so we like to let everybody in the neighborhood know that we're doing what they can't do.
Oh, there you go. And then, of course, you keep your clothes on late night?
Yeah, man. Nobody gets naked in the pool.
Okay. Just making sure. At least little nieces and nephews go to sleep.
Yeah.
Paulie, did you get out for Memorial Day at all? Did you do anything?
Sure did. I mean, as I talked about earlier, did a little bit of kayaking on Monday and also went down to visit my mother and stepfather for a steak dinner. Had a pretty good time hanging out down there with them. Yeah. Yeah,
but you had a pretty traumatic week, too. I mean, your computer blew up.
Yeah, just when I came home Monday night, the computer would not start, and I was unable to sleep that night. I mean, just because everything else that I do, kind of depends on it. But within 24 hours, the situation was remedied. My father, whom I kind of liken to Tywin Lannister for you Game of Thrones fans out there, came to the rescue right away and, sent me down to Best Buy and, had me order and pick up a computer there on the spot. And we've got a new machine running now, man.
There you go. It is. I mean, I'm sure it was traumatic without the computer. But then again, well, no, that's not going to work. I mean, you could have went to the public library and checked out the midget porn, couldn't you? Nobody was looking. Either way, man, I'm glad you got it. So you got a brand new rig and lots of memory, nice, powerful processor. Got that next week, Paulie. You're going to have that mic adapter and that wire, man. We're going to get a fresh sound out of Paulie next week.
I'm sure there'll be no more unprofessional stuff coming from me.
It's all professional. But the ladies might say, "Hey, can you read me 50 Shades of Grey now, Paulie, or something?" Can I get you on Skype and can I hear that microphone, Paulie? Please talk to me. Oh, that's you. That's not her. Never mind. Anyway, well, that's good stuff. Good stuff. So anyway, the news, nothing but the news. We're going to switch it, throw it over to Bubba real quick. Bubba. Give me a story that maybe jumped out in your mind this week that you saw on the news that sparked attention. Because we're going to jump right into it. We're going backwards tonight. Go ahead.
That's fine. Everything's been overshadowed by that damn fucking overprivileged kid that killed all the girls or whatever.
Elliot Rodger, yeah.
Yeah, there was that actor from whatever that killed his wife. I don't know if any of y'all heard of that, because that came out, I think, right before that happened. I forget what he's on. He's on one of those...
Michael Jace. He was on The Shield, yes.
Oh, The Shield. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. That other than that, I mean, that was appears to be that was going to be their new big story until this thing overshadowed it. So. Well,
we got some stuff that we're going to talk about. I tell you what, though, let's just talk about. You know what? We got your harp story coming up later on, Paul. Let's talk about Elliot Rodger for a minute, man.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's talk about his father. One of the producer directors of Hunger Games, and so his father actually probably wasn't the best role model for women. I mean, he was filming international chicks and taking pictures of the chicks with the best asses, and he probably made a lot of comments along the way in this kid early 20s and blaming the fact that all the chicks don't like the good boys, they like the bad boys. I don't know. I mean, there might have been some other things that didn't come through. I don't know if he was torn about no women, or maybe he was torn because he liked men. Who knows? I'm thinking all kind of stuff. But here's what got me. All right, some people, you heard people make comments like the one child's father, blame the NRA, do this, do that. But I tell you what, as sad as it is, our good old boy Sam, what's his name, Wurzelbacher? You know who Sam Wurzelbacher is? That's Plumber Joe, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, yeah, he gave his condolences. I mean, wait a minute. Here's basically what he said, and he put it to. He says, well, he says your dead kids don't trump my guns. Is pretty much what he said, and that's probably an exact quote because it was all over the news.
Well, it sounds a little heartless and everything, but I mean, there's a heck of a lot more to this story, than just gun violence. And I mean, granted, yeah, your gun rights activists have already jumped all over this one. One of the victims of the kids, their father the father of one of the victims has already spoken out, and as you said, he blames the NRA and gun supporting politicians for this murder. But I watched some of this guy's videos. I checked it out on YouTube, and I mean,
well, before we get into all that, let's talk about Joe the Plumber for a minute before you go off into East Jesus. All right, let's finish up what we were talking about. This guy puts a letter out, an open letter on barbed wire. So if any of you haven't seen it, and Paulie, if you haven't seen it, go to barbedwire.com. I mean, he went out of his way, though. He explained to the victims' parents that the deaths will not undermine his constitutional rights. And he says, quote, I'm sorry you lost your child. He says, I myself have a son and daughter, and the one thing I never want to go through is what you're going through now. Now, you've got to remember how Plumber Joe got started. He's the guy that was a mascot for John McCain's failed 2008 presidential run. He says, but as harsh as this sounds, your dead kids do not trump my constitutional rights. Now, he did single out Richard Martinez, as you just brought up, Paulie, whose son Christopher was one of the 6 students killed by Elliot Rodger in Isla Vista, California. Incidentally, Rampage, and you started to elaborate, Paulie, he rallied twice against politicians. He went against the NRA for the failure to pass the new gun laws. After the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre. Now, there are no critical words for a grieving father, he said. He can say whatever he wants and blame whoever he'd like to. It's okay by me. He says you can't take a step in his shoes. At least I can't. Plumber Joe says, but the words and images of Mr. Martinez blaming the proliferation of guns, lobbyists, politicians, etc. will be exploited by gun grab extremists, as are all tragedies involving gun violence and the mentally ill by the anti-Second Amendment left. Plumber Joe also added that he had a responsibility as a father, husband, and a man to protect his family. Addressing Martinez directly, he said anyone calling for more restrictions on American rights needs to back off and stop playing into the hands of the folks who merely capitalize on these horrific events for their own political ends. And he closed with an admonition. He says, in conclusion, I cannot begin to imagine the pain you are going through, having had your child taken away from you, he wrote. However, any feelings you have toward my rights being taken away from me, lose those. End of letter.
I agreed with him. He's an idiot how he worded it. I definitely wouldn't have thrown in that whole dead kid trumps my rights thing, but yeah, I agree with pretty much what he said.
And of course, he reminded them that his kids were still living.
Yeah, see, he has no tact at all in any way.
Well, that's right.
Say it like that, but I do agree with him.
Plumber Joe. Well, go ahead, Paulie. Now you can swing right into it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. First of all, like I was saying, I watched this kid on YouTube. I saw a lot of his videos. They did take down the video that he made just prior to the killing, but there were 21 other videos up, and the kid created quite the impression with me. And here's what it comes down to. This is not really a matter of gun violence or violence in general. This is a matter of how we treat and handle the mentally ill in this country. In fact, just about any mass shooting is. You can look through the history of all these mass shootings, and what you'll see is that almost without fail, there's either a history of mental illness or a history of antidepressant use. But this kid, I can understand why he was having problems with the ladies. I could see, that there was a little something wrong with him. In fact, a couple of the females that I sent this guy's YouTube channel to also said that, they thought he was kind of a closet gay. They said that, there was just something a little off about him.
Well, he wasn't a bad-looking kid. He's got his BMW. No. He comes for money, but there was definitely something wrong in the equation. I agree.
Well, what it is that this kid was narcissistic. He was his own biggest fan. And I can see what it would be like to kind of hang around with this guy, or for that matter, to be a girl on a date with this guy who, obviously is in love with himself. The first thing she might think, if she gets past the whole potential gay thing with him, is that, is there really going to be room in this guy's heart to love me, considering how much he loves himself already?
He hasn't even kissed a girl, dude.
Well,
so he says.
That's at 22 years old, a virgin.
And then we got, all this is going to play in the Bubba segment. I can think of two guys right now. One that's a 30-year-old virgin and another one who thinks he's God. So this is great stuff. We're going to be able to take actual news stories, and Bubba, you're just going to feed off of it like a little leech for the next month. But anyway,
did you know, Ray, that the cops had visited this guy about 10 days before the shooting? They conducted an interview with him, and they found him to be a polite, well-mannered, well-spoken, stable individual.
They cleared a slate with this kid. Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, let's go.
I mean, I think that's worth pointing out. And then the fact that all of this stuff gets posted onto YouTube, especially that last video that happened, I'm assuming it was like around 17 hours before he went
17, 18 hours, right.
Yeah. Who the heck is paying attention to these videos when a guy makes a claim? All right, and just take the video itself individually. He makes the claim that he's going to go out and have his night of retribution, that he was going to kill an entire sorority house full of blonde women. That video gets posted and it gets reviewed before it gets approved to stay up there. Who the heck is paying attention to this stuff, and why weren't the authorities notified?
Pretty crazy stuff, and it wasn't exactly hurry, let's get this off of the internet once it came out either. YouTube was just benefiting from all that traffic.
Sure, absolutely, and his channel remains up. I mean, I don't see a reason to take anything else down, but it does. I can't say that it also that the blame kind of befalls YouTube or the administrators of the site or whatever. But there was an opportunity to prevent this as little as 18 hours, before it happened, because he announced that he was going to do it and made no bones about it.
I'm just wondering how many. I think I would like to go ahead and let them look and see how many plays it got before it actually happened. And then ask yourself, how come no friggin' person opened their mouth in the meantime? That's how sick. That's what we've become. We're numb.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's part of it. And I mean, again, how many people were watching this guy in the first place? How many people were even taking what he said seriously? I mean, because people just say stupid shit all the time.
Well, he said the same thing 3 or 4 times in that video, though, and every time he made certain points, he had that he did that snicker, So I don't know. It was pretty spooky stuff. I watched it. How about you, Bubba? What do you think? Bubba, what do you think about that video?
Yeah, I think that what you said, for one, the boy had every goddamn advantage possible. His daddy's got fucking money. He's got a BMW. He wasn't a bad looking dude. He's a little fucking weird, but that matters. I mean, really, he should have. He could have probably had just about any damn girl he wanted. He was probably pissed off that he was gay, and he knew he was fucking gay, and he was mad that girls weren't fixing that for him. And probably blame them.
He was conflicted, that's for sure. But
there's a social responsibility. But you got people that even if they knew for a fact he was going to do it, they would have let it happen just so they could watch it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we've become. And
we're Rome, man. We're Rome, and we want to open up the fucking Coliseum, and we want to watch the damn games.
That's it, man. Forget the Christians.
Yeah, we want to watch the games.
Lions all the way, baby. Go Lions.
Yep, we want to see it. We want to see the shit so we can complain and talk about how horrible it is, and oh my God, it needs to be stopped. And that's why those news stories do so well. That's why that video gets so many views.
His father wasn't the best role model either toward women, so...
but a lot of people don't have the best role model as parents, and they don't go out and murder people. I mean, he just, had his own issues. He's just a weird fucker. And as far as, banning guns, he had money and means, so he would have found another way to do it.
I didn't check.
He shot 3 of them, and I think stabbed 3 of them, and then ran over one with his car. So
yeah, exactly.
3 of them wouldn't have died.
Yeah, it's not just an exclusive, gun-related incident.
Right.
He did, his damage one way or another. Yeah.
So, okay, NRA. Well, hey, wait a minute. NRA, let's get rid of the guns. Okay, now you got to get rid of your knives, too. And you might have to leave your cars in the garage.
Got to walk. Everything's made of rubber, and there's no corners on anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't
so,
do that. It's not gonna happen.
Was he on any medication? Do you guys know? I don't recall if I saw anything about that.
Well, there wasn't any indication that he was on any kind of medication, but what they did disclose was that he suffered from Asperger's syndrome, which is a very high-functioning form of autism.
Yes, it is.
It's why he was able to to do well in school and to kind of appear normal outwardly, for the most part. But Asperger's is kind of an adult version of autism that, in his particular case, meant that it was complicated or difficult for him to pick up on nonverbal cues. So you have to be really direct and to the point. You can't be sarcastic or anything with somebody like that. You have to say what you mean and mean what you say when you're talking to somebody like that.
Exactly. Well, anyway, another tragedy, another reason for gun control. I don't care. I'm going to side with Joe the plumber, even though he was not tactful. Bubba, absolutely not tactful. I have to say that, I'm sorry it sucks it happened to you. I'm glad it didn't happen to me. I'm blessed, but I can't feel your pain, but I'm not going to throw my rights away. Because of what happened, and what can you say? I mean, he probably could have said a little more tactful, but then again, he represents middle class America, so I'm sure a lot of people agree with him. And it's not people can't rag on Martinez for saying the thing about the NRA. I mean, he's probably wasn't in his right mind anyway. What do you say? I mean, how do you sit there and think rationally after your kid gets whacked in college? I mean, what do you say? Oh, I'm going to just stay perfectly sane, perfectly rational, and make a few statements. No, you just start lashing out, man. So leave Martinez alone. And, God bless him. And, it's terrible. But you know what? He said what he said. And, it's been said. So, and of course, Plumber Joe with 2 healthy kids, he can say what he can say, too. But it's certainly apples and oranges in all respects.
Well, what it comes down to for me, Raunch, is responsibility, personal responsibility. When this kid couldn't get a date, he blamed everybody around him. He blamed the guys that were picking up the girls. He picked up the girls whose, he blamed the girls whose standards were too high. With the victim's father, obviously, there's no real personal responsibility for him to take in this incident. But, his first move was to blame somebody else for what had happened and to make a political statement about it. There's got to be a measure of personal accountability in this and in all aspects of life. And I think one of the things that we see with this is that, in a lot of cases, there is none. And people avoid personal accountability.
Yeah, and if you look in the background of a lot of those videos, he had a favorite parking space where he would go park and remake those recordings. You could see those palm trees in the back. You know what I'm talking about? That walk to the side.
Sure, he was there on the beach, and he was watching couples and stuff like that.
Yeah,
sure, absolutely.
Did you see how he did, though? Like, one guy walked by. He actually was took just a little brief pause and looked over at him while he was in the middle of that final video. Like, he was actually paying attention to people walking by him, too. So he wasn't, totally whacked out and focused on what he was saying, because he did look to the right when the guy started to walk by the car. Not right next to the car, but in a distance, he saw him. I saw him glance over at him and, almost like, oh, the guy's looking at me, that type of thing. Look at that video.
I also kind of felt that this kid could have been helped. I mean, for example, Ray, and not to, kiss your ass blatantly, but I mean, if you had the chance to talk to this guy and kind of help him refine his game a little bit, you could have gotten this dude laid. I mean, that was the other impression that I got, that this kid, was really not that far off.
Wait a minute,
he
Bubba.
Wasn't a bad-looking guy.
Forget me.
Just gotten over himself.
Bubba.
Something could have been done to save it.
Bubba, you want to get him laid? What do we do?
What the fuck? I don't know. He has a goddamn BMW and money. Go tell a girl that he has a BMW and money.
Bubba, let's keep it street. We want to get this guy laid. What do we do?
Oh, you can get a prostitute.
You buy him a fucking hooker. That's right. So how hard was it? And that's not like he couldn't afford it.
Really, go point out to really any fucking girl, though, and be like, hey, that guy over there, his dad does the fucking Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And there you go, off and running.
Something don't make sense. Something don't make sense, man, because there's got to be, you'd think there'd be at least one groupie that will be chasing this kid.
Fuck yeah, man. His daddy, there's a million actresses in fucking Hollywood who think that fucking him will get them closer to being in a movie. He could have bitches all over him.
Dad, A and B doesn't equal C. I'm sorry. Right. I think he was conflicted in his sexual preference.
Yeah, that's his problem. I'm telling you that he blamed them females for not fixing his issue, for not being sexy enough, or whatever. He blamed them for him being gay.
He kept referring to those big brutes, though, those big muscular brutes, you know, and ooh. So anyway, all right. Well, listen, thank you for sharing. And Paulie, always, I knew you were going to splooge on that one. But, it had to be said. You're right. We talked about this last week. We said, you know what, everybody's talking about it. We're not going to talk about it. But it does have to be said again because there's people that missed it in the news. And, yeah, this is a podcast and it's on demand. And people can listen to this thing 2 or 3 weeks from now and maybe think about something in retrospect. As long as they got something from it, then we did what we were supposed to here today.
Yeah, well done, guys.
So with that, everybody.
I am immortal.
Well, at least he is now, Elliot Rodger. And rest in peace, all the victims from that tragedy. We'll be back. And when we do come back, we got the one, the only, the epitome of watch what you eat. Chef Lou is back after an appearance a few months ago, to tell us about what you should not eat. And if you are, you're probably going to regret it. So don't go anywhere to Foxxcast, Earthcast Radio. We'll be back right after this.
We'll be back with more verbal abuse from the world's largest net shock jock, 6'10" RaunchFoxxx. He's nuts over you. Well, actually, most people.
Hey, how you doing? In these tough economic times, you may find yourself a little short on cash. So where you gonna go? The bank? They don't got no money. They're begging for scratch from Uncle Sam.
Nah, you need to go to the place that'll get you the cash you need. Vinny and Angelo's.
Bad credit? No credit? Hey, no problem.
Yeah, because we know where you live.
And that's good enough for us.
So stop by Vinny and Angelo's today. Conveniently located in the industrial park out by the airport.
Hey, Vinny and Angelo's, if you got problems money can solve, we say forget about it.
This is Honey Baby. My pussy may still be bald, but Bubba Ganoush makes a real woman out of me. Work it, baby. This is RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast, keeping women wet since the first squirt.
Oh, sure. Then we could sit around and braid each other's hair until we get our periods at the same time.
Start with a half-pound of ground beef from hyper-flatulent cattle raised on ranches that used to be rainforests. Then, grill it on an open flame with mesquite smoke billowing into the atmosphere. Add some sizzling habanero sauce so hot it can melt the polar ice caps all by itself.
Hot!
That's one heck of a burger. And you know what the inconvenient truth is? It tastes great. Beef. It's what's killing the planet. Go ahead, smoke your mouth. Eat your drive hard. Do you have enough RAM? Bend over and let the Raunch upgrade your memory. The RaunchFoxxx cyber sickness. Oozing out of computers everywhere.
I used to suffer nervousness and lose sleep because of bad memories. That is until I asked my doctor about Forget It All.
Forget It All is the once daily pill that will erase all kinds of past traumas, leaving you anxiety-free and able to live life to the fullest.
Forget It All has opened up a whole new world to me. Oh, hi, puppy. Something from my childhood makes me not want to pet him, but I can't remember.
Forget It All is not for everyone. Side effects include, what were they? No, not that. Oh, I remember. No. I guess there are no side effects to Forget It All.
Being this dog's chew toy could give anyone nightmares, but it won't, thanks to Forget It All.
Forget It All, because what you can't remember can't hurt you.
Spicks, chinks, womps, kikes, porch monkeys, and dotheads. The Raunch loves you all. But if you can't speak the language, get the hell off this site. RaunchFoxxx, broadcasting internationally in fucking English to bring peace and harmony. Wasn't Danny Thomas Lebanese?
The next item up for bid is this
golden sarcophagus filled with the elephant man's bones. The bidding will start at $100. Do I hear 100? 150? Do I? 200. Simone, $200. You can't beat it. Oh, 250. 300. Oh, do I hear 400? 400. And if we get 500, I'll throw in a free llama. 500. Do I hear 600? Come on, I got to be selling something. Got to be selling something. 600. Going once, going twice. Simone. So, to the man in the mirror.
Some radio stations are special. All you need to hear is the station name, and you know it's different from the rest. The music, the contests, the talent.
And now, we return to the RaunchFoxxx Cyber Sickness. It's no holds barred. We've been fucking the FCC since the FCC started fucking.
All right, everybody, welcome back. RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast, Earthcast Radio. Yours truly, RaunchFoxxx, Bubba Ganoush, Hollywood. And right now, we're going to be bringing in a guy that hasn't been with us for a couple months, but he sure made an impact the first time around. People started asking for him. I found him. And right now, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, a guy who can tell you what to eat and what not to eat and has the proof because he does his research. It's Chef Lou. What's up, Lou? How are you, brother?
Doing pretty well.
Great.
Doing all right.
So what's happening, man? I mean, what's it like that in Atlanta this time of year? Is it always humid?
It's starting to get there. Yeah, it's been pretty bitter out there with the mosquitoes and everything else since we're finally in our heat wave.
Right. Well, it happens, man. You know, I lived in Atlanta for about a year off of Cobb Highway there, Route 41. Worked at a place off of Route 41. It was a business park that had like a big wooden grandfather clock at the front entrance. I don't know if you know where that's at, but I lived right off of the Chattahoochee area. It was a pretty wild apartment complex back in the day called Riverbend. And then, of course, we go out to Stone Mountain on Sunday. So I had a good time when I was down there for a year and a half.
Right. Can definitely be fun out that way.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure you're not eating the shit that you're about ready to talk about?
Try not to, but some of it's kind of unavoidable.
I mean, you're not like you're ready to maybe... You sure you're okay, right? I just want to make sure.
We're all good.
I know, man. I mean, we tried to keep you awake until we got you in here, man. But anyway, hey, listen, so... What do you want to tell us about? Because Paulie's going to be listening, Bubba's going to be listening. Not that it's going to matter with all the Red Bull and Mountain Dew that they consume, but bring it, man. What do you got for it this week?
Well, the one of the first ingredients on my list, since it's things that are in general food that I've got for everybody today, is actually in one of your favorites, which is your Altoids.
Oh, God. Don't tell me about aspartame. I already saw it, but go ahead.
Not aspartame. This is actually called sorbitol, which is a sugar alcohol.
Yeah.
And it's not potentially harmful in your Altoids or in anything you really see it in, but certain candies, especially sugar-free candies, for those who don't consume sugar or diabetics, consumed in large amounts can actually cause the body to go into an overdrive mode with your intestines, and it becomes a laxative.
Sorbitol, is that S-O-R-B-I-T-O-L, sorbitol? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And the very bad thing about that is the people that cannot eat sugar that do drink a lot of it, and it is in certain sodas. I don't know exactly which ones, but it's in a lot of diet sodas, can actually cause you to dehydrate overnight without even knowing and end up basically blacked out. When you're supposed to be getting up in the morning, you just won't wake up.
I haven't had a diet soda for 2 years, and you're right, because you can get dehydrated drinking that stuff, and like with the aspartame and the other stuff in there, it works on your brain, man, to make you want more and more of it.
Yeah, that's it's one of the things. It's also, since it's a sweet, it keys to one of our natural feelings of, salt, sweet, and fats. So That's just that was the first one on my list because I know you ate it.
I do like the Altoids, but I use them for. I'll be honest with you. I use them to open up my throat before I do production. Like if I get up early in the morning, I'm feeling a little raspy. I'll drink some peppermint or green tea, and then I'll do a couple of those Altoids, and it just opens me up. But now you're telling me, and then I'm thinking about these diabetics that are doing sugar free, and they're doing this other stuff, but they got sorbitol. So now they got the diabetic thing to think they got it beat, but now they could get the craps, and it's working on their intestines. It's just a vicious circle. And it's a Food and Drug Administration, and oh my God, I'm thinking about me and Paulie and our Monsanto talks a couple weeks ago. It is never ending, folks. Never ending.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But it's like I said, if you're eating Altoids, it's not going to be enough to give you any problems. So, and the body can fairly deal with it in the amounts of eating, like a few mints or whatever. It's just more or less the sugar-free diets that are all sugar-free.
Okay.
The second thing is, which is also, these are in the list of in order as to how many items they're in. So, of course, sorbitol and the ones I'm about to say are in almost everything. The next one is xanthan gum, which is from xanthan, it's from xanthan, which is an actual bacteria that is brought forward from rotting vegetables, or fermenting, as they like to put it, because it doesn't sound as bad as rotting. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen, a rotting vegetable go bad in the, house or whatever. It is that slimy film that grows hair on the outside of the vegetable.
Bubba, have you ever left food in the sink for a long time and went back and checked on the broccoli or the lettuce leaves or anything and saw that?
I know what he's talking about. Yeah, definitely.
I remember when I was younger, I had hair on spaghetti once, but I'll leave it at that. Go ahead.
Well, it's basically just the layer of decay that acts as a thickening agent in a thickening agent or a gel. So xanthan gum can be in the pre-made gelatins or puddings. It's also in probably every salad dressing you could ever buy. It's also in fruit juices. I never knew that. If it's not 100% juice or, there's a few brands that actually do have good juice out there that are nationwide. But if it's one of those off brands that says contains like 30% real juice, the xanthan gum's in there to give like orange juice with pulp a fake thickness.
Oh my God! And then between that and the high fructose corn syrup and yay! Go ahead, man. I you know what? I hate when you're on this show.
Well, it's also in all dairy products as well. Just throw that out there.
Well, you want to lose weight, cut out dairy. You'll drop 4 or 5 pounds first week just cutting out dairy altogether. But anyway,
right. And then next on the list is, any of you guys ever eat anything red? I'm sure you have, including some of the drinks. Is Carmine?
Is Carmine in Red Mountain Dew?
It may be. Well, Carmine's actually used in Red 40, which is used in Mountain Dew. And it's a bunch of crushed red beetles.
Talk to Paulie.
Well, I only drink the green Mountain Dew. I mean,
well, I got something.
Maybe it's
later.
in there, maybe it's not. I had a question for you, though, Lou, about xanthan gum. Is that also in gummy bears? Is that something? Is that a component in gummy bears?
It can be with certain brands, but some of the natural ones won't have it because gummy bears are just straight up collagen, which is made from bones of animals. It's just straight gelatin, which that's not a bad thing, but it can be used in gummy bears. Yes.
They have natural organic gummy bears.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that I remember seeing a story about sugar-free gummy bears and a person who ate about a whole 5-pound bag of them and spent the next 3 days on the toilet with bad diarrhea. I'm just wondering if
it was sugar-free, it was definitely xanthan gum in there then.
Okay.
Because that's the only thing that can help thicken some of those. The sugar alcohol, because it's exactly what it is an alcohol, and as you know, alcohol doesn't really mix with much of anything. So you use that to give it an emulsification, and there you go. But the other reason I brought up the Carmine is it's not exactly that it's bad because yes, it is made from bugs, but a bug is a natural thing in nature and it's just the coloring. But there is no different. It is not derived in any other different way. So the same Carmine that's in your food is also used to make ink for your printer or your pen, paint, and makeup, and it is not changed whatsoever. It's the same product in all of those. So it's not refined in any way.
I'm getting hungry, Bubba. I don't know about you, Paulie. I'm getting hungry. What the hell am I going to eat now?
Nothing.
All right. The next one on the list is phosphoric acid. And I don't know if you guys remember, if anybody's ever seen that, is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The acid bath is actually phosphoric acid. It is used to remove rust, and It's a rust inhibitor and removes rust. It's used to treat metals. You can use it to shine up some parts on your car, and it's also the same thing that goes into sodas.
Get the corrosion off your battery.
Right.
Grenades. Used to go into grenades too.
Yes, and phosphoric acid in its whole form. I remember in high school in chemistry, that stuff would eat through the pipes in the sink if you didn't dilute it enough.
It's not good.
So. And like I'm telling you guys, the things that I'm listing off here is products or is chemicals and things that are in almost everything. So this is a general list of, and each one I'm telling you is over 5,000 products of each of these chemicals are in. So good luck trying to find something without these. I'm going a little back because this has been around for a while, but MSG, monosodium glutamate.
Oh yeah.
Delicious. Well, it is. All of the studies have yet to be inconclusive, and I think it's that way is because I don't think the FDA really wants you to know how bad it can be for you. But there have been studies where it has shown to ruin the taste buds and the palate of people because it has no flavor on its own. But when added to chicken, especially in Chinese food, it's always there.
Ranch dressing?
Yes.
Oh my God, I know. That's my favorite too.
Right.
When I get these fake ranch dressings, it's bitter. But you know what? It is what it is, man. If I can just go 21 days without doing it, I'll have a new habit. But so far, I'm only good for like a week and a half.
Doritos are awesome because of MSG.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, actually. It gives that extra layer of saltiness.
The flavor enhancer.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, when you taste it with something, it's like it adds that nice mild salt flavor, even though you still use salt. But it has it's gained a name called the Chinese food syndrome, which means you feel hungry later, but it's actually nothing that's really making you feel hungry. The hungriness is because of your body feeling ill, as in it needs to replenish whatever the MSG took away.
Oh, so it's hey, whatever you just did to me, feed me something good and help me.
Right, exactly. So the good thing is if you ever find out you've eaten a lot of MSG, because you really won't know, and a lot of the physical side effects don't really happen other than maybe diarrhea later, is go ahead and get some sort of fruit or vegetable straight into you really quick so your body can reabsorb the nutrients and flush out the MSG.
Yeah, and a couple peanuts doesn't hurt either to balance out your pH. But anyway, let me ask you something, Paulie or Bubba, have you ever gone and pigged out at a Chinese restaurant and then later in the evening, like, you think to yourself, man, I want a snack. I can't believe all I ate at the restaurant, but I actually want a snack right now.
Usually about a half hour after I finish having, say, my hot and sour chicken and pork fried rice, I'm back on it again. Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
How about you, Bubby? Do you go to Chinese buffets at all?
I order Chinese food at least once a week, every week. And yeah, honestly, I feel like shit every time I eat it. I mean, every time I eat it, I feel horrible. So, but I mean, I still eat it because it's fucking delicious. So, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Chinese hookers.
Yeah, I got a personal friend who owns a Chinese restaurant. They don't use it anymore, which is good. The next one is called carrageenan, which is an additive used in ice creams and soy milk toothpaste, and it's derived. Now, this one's not too bad. This one's just got a little funny story with it.
Okay.
It is. It's made from seaweed. So, like I said, this is
healthy.
not on my list of really bad.
Right.
It's just the explanation of how it works is the funny part. And
little kelp, never hurt anybody. Go ahead.
Right, and it has an ability to pull double duty. And it says lubricants, as in sexual lubricants, containing the special substance may have the ability to block a myriad of STDs.
Hell yeah!
To block them.
To block them.
So,
yes.
what about the lube that's flavored?
That's good.
I think it just tastes good. I don't know exactly what it's in. I didn't go that deep to see which lubes it's used.
Go that deep. You had to go there, didn't you? All right, go ahead.
It's got yellow 5 in it. Don't drink it.
Probably, yeah. If it's banana flavored, it's gonna.
What? You know why Paulie's so quiet? He just went in the bedroom. He's looking at all the friggin' labels on his lube. He's like, "What the fuck?" All right, go ahead. Sorry, Paulie. We miss you.
No, don't worry about it, Rod. It's good. It's good.
Don't drink the lube, Paulie.
Yeah, but that was just
but it tastes so good, Bubba.
Oh, God. You know that cheap lube called Wet at Walmart. Oh, never mind. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, bootleg lube. I like organic lube.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we'll see when that happens. All right. And last but certainly not least is tetrazine, or yellow 5. And this is pretty much the worst one on my list, not knowing that it was this bad, thinking it was just a color.
Sounds like you got a little personal vendetta now because of something you're eating that it's in. Go ahead, tell us. Tell.
Well, it's very disappointing to some of the water enhancers that I use, and some of the additives I've used in my food have it in there. So anything that is going to be yellow, like Mio and things like that,
What's
it's going
Mio?
to have it in it.
What's Mio?
It's just a water enhancer. You put it in water and it gives a little bit of flavor. It's 0 calorie, and there's actually not that many bad ingredients in it except for the yellow 5, because it's malic acid, citric acid, things like that. It's mostly bitter acids that come from fruits, but there's 0 calorie and adds a little bit of flavor to your water, so it's not always water all the time. So I lost 3 of my flavors just in reading this alone, because I've took it upon myself to pull up some of this research, and it is so bad that it is banned in Australia, Norway, and other European countries, and they have issued warnings about the possible side effects from their government. Yet in the U.S., it is still freely and extensively used. So it's okay for us to eat it, but other countries are like, yeah, no, you can't have it. Which is why a lot of soda sales are very low in other parts of Europe that are coming from our country, because you can't use the yellow 5, and for some reason they just won't. Like, you use yellow food coloring, which is not yellow 5, it's just yellow. So that was a shocker for me that we're able to use it well in here.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, there's more. Sorry about that.
I'm sure. I'm sitting here right now. Jen's Jen's got the refrigerator half empty. Go ahead.
Well, there were a few public interest reports and some independent researchers that have gone into seeing this, and when the U.S., actually did it through the government, it had failed to show cancer-causing or toxic effects, but the tests were inconclusive and pretty much false positives. So what that means is they failed on the cancer part, as in they didn't cause cancer, but then they found out the test was done wrong. But they left it as is, and they just said it was inconclusive. So there are, in some of these researches that people have done on their own time, it's no universities tied to it, there is a toxic and or cancerous effect on it. And the cancer includes colon, testicular, and even breast cancer can be tied to this.
Always the balls, man.
Well, that's what men get, most of the time. And another thing, too, that they proved on here, it actually causes the colon cancer percentage to go up in women if they drink a lot of yellow 5. It's also caused a wide array of allergies in certain children, like was it asthma? And it's also causes you to have a bad reaction to any psychotropic drug. So if anybody is on sort of any psych meds and they drink yellow 5, it flips the switch on everything and causes their mind to go crazy. So it actually does affect the brain.
Wow.
And lastly, that everybody kind of figures what this is, it's plenty of health problems, and it includes blurred vision, migraines, fatigue, and anxiety, and it also causes chromosomal damage. So it actually gets into your chromosomes and your DNA and can actually change it or have parts of your DNA missing just from drinking things that contain yellow 5.
Ooh.
Bizarre. But I mean, so as far as the common and popular myth that consuming yellow 5 will shrink the penis, is that something that has been proven or disproven?
That's been disproven.
Okay,
Nothing
so
can
it
really
isn't.
make that
Right.
change. Yeah. You might want to check your lubes then to make sure you don't have any in there.
Yeah, if it's going to affect the penis, I'm going to have to hope it's at least a yellow 12. But I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what, I've completely lost my friggin' appetite again.
Thanks a lot, Lou.
Hey,
I totally plan on enjoying some lube later.
Yeah, I hope somebody plays the podcast while they're sitting at a drive-thru at a Taco Bell or something.
Oh yeah, and all of this is in fast food. All of it, every single bit that I said is in fast food.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't surprise me either. I mean, if you look at some of the things that these fast food companies have recently had to take out of their breads and, their meats and everything, all we're finding out as we go along is that fast food is just worse and worse for you than we were told when we were growing up. And we were already told it was bad for us as it is.
Exactly. Well, a certain fast food restaurant, real quick, that will not be named. I don't want to get tied with the veggie libel law, but they have a clown as their mascot and Happy Meals. Their beef is not really beef. It is a cleaned beef product that comes, it starts out as natural cow, but because of the E. coli and everything that is in beef and the contaminations, it is actually broken down into protein fibers, flushed with ammonia and ammonia sulfates, then recombined into a big square that's vacuum sealed and then sent off to the distribution center to shape it in as a patty. That's why they're dry and don't have a lot of fat in them. All the calories come from the condiments on the sandwich.
Are you telling me that come on, I heard there was a hamburger could have as many as a dozen different cows in that meat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could have up to, I believe the statistic was you could have up to 107 different cows in a burger from a fast food joint.
What are we doing?
I like knowing that.
Huh?
I think family should stay together, even in my burger.
It's controlled, though. I'm telling you right now, this is control. Somebody's controlling something somewhere.
I mean, we don't have to eat McDonald's. Nobody's forcing nobody to go to the drive-thru.
Well, they sure don't, do they? But I mean, they think about it, guys. They've been brainwashing us since we were just little runts. You want to talk about pre-McDonald's? How many of you had candy cigarettes when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah, man, definitely.
Oh, yeah, totally,
candy cigarettes. Come on. Is that programming?
Right.
And then what did McDonald's do? What do? They put the pretty little playlands and let's go, kids, and let's have fun and let's go to McDonald's playland and while we're there, we're going to eat this shit.
The bulk of their advertising is geared and aimed at children. God. I mean, the same thing with cereals. And I mean, I'm sure that you find just as many of these harmful, like Yellow 5, you've got to be able to find it in a bowl of Lucky Charms or in Trix or something along those lines.
Yeah, and remember how healthy I felt when I saw Tony the Tiger go, they're great! Yeah, right. Sure. They're great, all right. And then, of course, there's the other ones that maybe the Wheaties and the Cheerios weren't as bad, but they always had the athletes on their boxes. But, once you got past the picture on the box, I have to start looking at the ingredients. Who even thought about it back in the day?
Yeah, well, Wheaties isn't even all real there. It's ridiculous with the things they do.
If you don't think it's going to screw you up, I remember when I was a kid and Bruce Jenner was on the box. Look at him. Well, that's all I got to say about that. So, what do we get, guys? What do we do? I mean, think about it. I mean, I wish I was just stupid and blind. But the more awakened we get, the sad thing is it's probably too late for a lot of people because we've been eating this stuff, we've been drinking this stuff, we're letting the Food and Drug Administration just beat the hell out of us. And oh no, like with the marijuana, don't you can't have CBD. We're going to make that a level 1 drug, and you can't just buy that randomly now because you got to take the other pills to fix your aches and pains. And what do you mean cancer cures? Forget that. We're not going to lose billions of dollars by telling you about cancer cures. We can't win, guys. We can't win.
In my humble opinion, when it comes to certain things with food, as being sick and having certain things in my life, from the flu to strep and things like that, there's really certain diseases that food's not going to get rid of or anything natural can really do because the body can't fight it off itself and a vegetable's not going to help. But when we have vegetables that are being contaminated with pesticides and, other countries like Mexico, they use human feces to fertilize instead of using animal fertilization. That's where you get your E. coli and your salmonella. And then it's picked out of the ground or off a tree when it's not even ready to be eaten, blasted with gas and all sorts of chemicals. And then it gets to the grocery store and you wonder why, cucumbers now, at least to me, they feel a lot more waxy because they're actually picked before and they're forced to grow faster. Well, a lot of people, instead of doing that and reading how bad a raw vegetable is, they'll go to McDonald's and think it's better. So, I mean, that's where I think the fine line is. It's, $2 a pound for this genetically modified vegetable, or I can go get, this Happy Meal for $2 for my kid. It's just, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm about to go in the woods and just start planting everything myself.
That's right.
My own livestock.
That's right. You got to make sure the seeds aren't plastered either. There's places you can get those seeds that haven't already been contaminated. Right. It's quicker, slicker, faster, sharper. Sooner or later, the best thing is the guy said to me, that's why I grow my own, hunt my own, fish my own, and put the rest in a can. That's what he said to me today on Facebook.
You know something, Raunch? When I'm reminded of when Lou was telling us about how, Yellow 5 isn't even used over in Europe, I'm reminded about how, when we were talking last week about fluoride and how ours is like the only country in the world that has such a massive fluoridation. I mean, we're exposed to all of this nasty crap. I mean, across the board. It's not just the dyes and it's not just the monosodium glutamate. I mean, it's everything. We're given all of this crap.
Well, maybe when they used to call us the strongest nation in the world, which I question right now, maybe that's why, because we just look at all the stuff we've had to overcome and deal with all the years.
And we've just been eating it. I mean, what choice do we have?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the high-level execs of all those companies that are making these products are the ones that are running the government anyway. So, I mean...
And what are they eating? What do they have? Their own little laboratories where they have all their own special foods and everything else. I mean, and then you talk about like the chemtrails and people are breathing and they have families too. I mean, what is it? What are you going to do? People are just like willing to whatever. I mean, I am terrified for my grandkids.
Oh yeah, my niece the same way. She's going to be 2 this year, and it's like, oh wait, what can I feed her?
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Well, Lou, is that pretty much your jolt for this week?
Oh, that's all I've got. I don't think anybody will handle anymore.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you for it. Wow. When we come back, well, before we go away, Lou, I'm going to say thank you. I don't know if I mean it or not, but you always do a great job, buddy. So thank you for that. That's Chef Lou, everybody. If you want to know what to eat, what not to eat, you want to listen to this podcast about 10 times and don't miss a trick. We're going to be back. We got Paulie Wood coming up with some good stuff. And then later on, Bubba Ganoush with his first official Bubba's Social Spikecast. So keep it right here. RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast on Earthcast Radio, episode 15. We'll be back in just a minute.
We'll be back with more of the RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast here on Earthcast Radio. No wins. You know if you belong. Stay tuned.
In India, we like to drink soda that has some fizz. But now we guzzle funky stuff that's made with bovine whiz. I'd like to teach the world to drink with a glass of some cowpea. You'll never go back to drinking Coke, 'cause cow urine's tasty. It's cowpea. Go drink some today. It is very salty. It's Don't forget to ask your grocer about diet cowpea.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
In theaters, a lighthearted comedy about a woman who just can't control her spending that doesn't star Nancy Pelosi, Congress, or President Obama. Isla Fisher stars in Confessions of a Shopaholic this weekend.
You're listening to the RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast on Earthcast Radio. Out of this world programming. Stay tuned for more.
I'm Dr. Neil Clark Warren. Are you a multiple birth mom who can't conceive of true love because you've conceived so many times? Then log on to efertility.com.
I was instantly attracted to Nadia, but when I found out she's a single mom with 14 kids and living off welfare, I thought, wow, what a catch.
Go to efertility.com now and find a date that isn't just another due date based on 29 levels of impregnability.
Thanks to efertility.com. We're tying the knot, but not my tubes.
Log on to efertility.com today. And when it comes to dating, we'll make it easy to get back in the saddle, even when you spend all your time in the stirrups.
The RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast, invading countries everywhere. If you don't speak a language, what do you think you're listening to? And now, back to the RaunchFoxxx cyber sickness.
I enjoy that type of radio.
Oozing out computers everywhere.
That wraps up another edition of the RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast.
You would think it does. I'm stopping the show. I'm sitting here right now. I'm trying to do my show, and all I'm doing is thinking, what the fuck am I going to eat tonight? So good night, everybody. Good night. All right, I'm lying. I'm lying, but let me tell you what, that really pissed me off. But I love Chef Lou, everybody, and I know you guys do too. But forget that, because let's just keep rolling like this. Come on, you ready? Ready? Paulie, you ready?
Ready.
It's for you, man. It's for you.
And now, Foxxcast followers, it's time to debunk the debunkers with our style of telling it like it probably is. It's the Smokescreen Machine, Hollywood, on the RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast.
Oh, yeah. Paulie Wood is in the house. Paulie, I'll tell you what, you following some great stories, man. If you keep it at this level, we got a hell of a show going on, brother. So don't stop now.
We already have a great show going on. But let me tell you, as usual, my segment this week has been inspired by something I saw you post on Facebook a few days back regarding the closing of the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, also known as HAARP. And this is kind of a mixed bag of nuts for conspiracy theorists out there, because this is one of those topics that we kind of love to harp on, pun intended. Mm-hmm. Oh, where's the laugh track? Come on. Okay, anyway. So this is a project that began in 1993. It's a joint project by the U.S. Air Force, the Navy, the University of Alaska, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, also known as DARPA. It was built and designed by BAE Advanced Technologies, and its purpose is to analyze the ionosphere and investigate the potential for developing ionospheric enhancement technology for radio communications and surveillance. Now, in the conspiracy end of this, a lot of people believe that HAARP has been used to manipulate the weather, has been used to generate and cause earthquakes. And there are some people who even believe that the use of the electronic frequencies has an impact on the brain, and that it's used for mind control. But the news is, and you're aware of this, Raunch, that the project is being defunded. And by the end of the year, I believe they're going to be closing it down.
Well, yeah, just for Alaska, but I think it's personally a diversion. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, did you know that the array, the actual array that you can see pictures of, if you look it up on the website, is suspected not even to be the actual main array for which this project is used. But I have seen videos of theories where people say that they charge up the atmosphere and then they end up punching a hole through the ionosphere. And for those who don't know, the ionosphere is basically a level of the atmosphere that is between the magnetosphere and the stratosphere. So it's kind of like a layer that's sort of connected to the ozone layer. But I mean, there are people who also say in Alaska that the northern lights are particularly brighter when these projects are being played out, when they're conducting their experiments and so forth. But for the most part, it's kind of bad news for the conspiracy theory crew, because they're shutting down the project. They're basically defunding it. They're taking it off of the books, and they won't be doing it anymore, at least according to the reports. Now, I mean, like you were saying, Raunch, it could very well be just a diversion or a distraction. I mean, this is something that they have at least admitted to doing, that they do admit that it exists. They do admit that it's real. But I mean, I was just kind of curious, what you guys had think. Like Bubba, for example, have you ever heard of HAARP, or have you ever, been exposed to any of the conspiracy?
Yeah, I've seen the pictures on Google Earth and shit of it.
I mean, have you ever watched a video regarding what it's used for, or what the conspiracy theorists say about what they're doing with it?
Yeah, I've seen a couple different ideas on what it is and what it's used for.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine if something like this were in fact what the conspiracy theorists say about it, that it's being used to impact and affect people's moods or their thought pattern, or to suppress certain moods and thought patterns? I mean, it's an interesting project for the most part, and I mean, what they admit to doing with it is basically it's kind of a spy enhancement device. Did I hear somebody just hang up?
No, I was getting a little breakup on Bubba, so I had to shut down the line a little bit.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. All right. Well, anyway, didn't mean to divert us or anything. This was also a project that I believe Jesse Ventura tried to do a little bit of investigating with in his show Conspiracy Theories, and he didn't really get too far. But it's one of those, like I said, that's been in modern times one of the more popular conspiracies to point to because of what the potential damage is to the atmosphere, and of course, again, the potential impact that it has on the human brain. But I was just kind of curious. I mean, when you posted this, Raunch, what was your impression? I mean, did you even believe that the project existed the way that they say it did, or do you think that it was always something a little bit nefarious?
Well, I think it's been going on a lot longer. I mean, you can go back over 20-some years to Europe and whatever, and it's been going on a long time here. I think they've had a couple experiments gone awry. I think that whether it's weather control or sound waves or saying that they're doing stuff for a military defense, whatever it might be, the bottom line is even if they close Alaska, I think there's plenty of other places that are out there that are not going to be closed. So I think this is just, once again, something for people to say, oh, okay, because with the chemtrails and the weather control and the geoengineering and how we're getting slammed right now, they got to counteract with something. So I think this is their move in that whole arena of everything, is, as we're getting tossed and turned, and we can't eat, we can't breathe. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to die.
Well, and you think about it, it kind of can tie into the chemtrails and stuff, because some of the things that we know that they are spraying up there are heavy metals, barium, or barium, aluminum getting tossed up in there, lead. So, I mean, maybe the two are kind of tied together in the sense that, the research in the electronics and the insertion of these elements into the atmosphere kind of make it so that HAARP device can have its impact not just in the surrounding area, but in areas where they target, in specific parts of the world. I mean, the ionosphere is one big layer, like an eggshell around the planet. And that means that, the experiments that they were doing were used to kind of focus and channel these energies into various different parts of the planet. So, I mean, maybe it is something that's tied into that spraying. I mean, who really knows?
Let's
we
poke
don't really
a hole.
know exactly what it is that they're spraying up in there in the first place.
Let's poke a hole and see what happens.
Yeah, let's just see what happens when we send a huge amount of this energy up through the atmosphere and into space, and then let's just see what kind of impact it has.
You just remember, and Bubba, I'm telling you, and Paulie, I'm telling you, just like the atomic bomb, everybody thought it was for something else when in fact they were trying to kill Godzilla. I saw it myself in the movies this past weekend. Go ahead.
Well, This is one of those facilities that also wasn't heavily guarded, Yeah. At least not the one, like I say, that you can view on Google Earth, or you can see, in the pictures of the facility. But the rumor is that a larger and more powerful facility is hidden further away from this one, where the real the real deal stuff goes on, where the heavy duty stuff goes on, where if it is a weaponization of weather or the ionosphere, whether it's used to kind of help generate and localize earthquakes, where all of that was going on, that very few people have ever seen or lived to tell about it. So I kind of tend to agree with you on this one, Raunch. I think that it's a bit of a diversion. I mean, sure, they're going to end up closing it down. It's been around and active for about 21 years, and they've probably done the most that they can do with it. If anything, what they've probably found is that it is totally ineffective in the way that they want it to be. And we just kind of have to hope for it. But
let's put our money somewhere else. Let's send billions back to Afghanistan. Go ahead. Don't get me started.
I know. Well, one thing invariably leads to another. Well, one of the other things that I found kind of interesting about it was that it wasn't really a heavily tax-funded operation. I think about $250 million a year as of 2008. So, I mean, when you think about the kind of money
that's chump change compared to everything else.
It's not really a whole lot. It's kind of a drop in the bucket.
True. True.
So, anyway, rest in peace. R.I.P. HAARP. It is now being shut down, and those of us conspiracy theorists who like to point to it and say, "Oh, there's something nefarious going on up there," have now got to find something new to harp about.
Don't forget my dream about conspiracy theorists.
That's right. A very interesting dream. The one where you said that the government officials, they approached you and said that we're the ones putting that stuff out.
Yeah, that they do the conspiracy theories because it is true and because they don't want to come in from the government, so they got to put it out there and make everybody else look like quacks and flakes and everything else. So, hey, it is what it is. All I know is my attitude toward everything around me lately is just bummed out. You look at doctors and you look at the medical profession, you look at the food you buy, you look at the drugs, you go in the drugstores, you watch them pushing pills. I mean, I watch these old people and all the pills that they were shoving on them. I mean, I'm just so aware of everything that's going on now. It's just like, Jen makes more and more sense. You know what? Get off the grid and go live natural because the earth will take care of you and give your body all it needs, and without all the processing and all the other crap that's screwing this planet up and the life on it. I mean, it's got everything it needs right there. Cancer rates, next to nothing in Japan or China. It's just, the earth will give you what you need. But you know what? Mankind's got to screw it up somehow, And of course, here in the United States, with the food colorings and the fluorides and everything else. So that's because of the greed of the dollar. And it doesn't matter because the only ones that are greedier than them are the ones that are selling the caskets and the funerals and the crematoriums and the mausoleums afterwards. So it's a never-ending cycle. Well, of course, once you die, it's an end.
I may have said this before, and please forgive me if I get a little too far off topic here, but one of the things that I'm constantly reminded of when I listen to these stories about all the different toxins that are in our food and in our water and in the environment, I'm reminded of my work in pest control, especially when it comes to the food. Because one of the methods of getting rid of an infestation is to replace their food supply with a toxic food supply. And it's something that works slowly so that it has a chance to impact
I know where this is going.
Population.
I know where this is going.
You do?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me about it working slowly. Go ahead. Tell me about everybody in about 5 to 10 years from now from the shit that we're taking in our body. Go ahead. Tell me about how they've been feeding us like bugs.
Well, it's not even so much that basically that's what it is. I mean, when I was in pest control, when I was dealing with a carpenter ant infestation, one of the main things that I had to do was tell the people to get all your sugars, your fruits, any kind of food source, store it. Put it in airtight containers, throw it into the refrigerator, remove it from their environment so that they have no choice but to eat the stuff that I'm putting out for them. This stuff that will kill them. We used a gel that had boric acid in it so that it acted slowly enough that it didn't necessarily kill what was eating it right away. They had a chance to go and tell others to come out and eat it too. That's how an ant works. And then when the ant brings that ingested product back to the nest, they feed it to the larva. And then the larvae regurgitate it back to the ants and refeed it to them. I mean, it's almost like a microcosm of what we're doing with fast food.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly
young
right.
People working in there serving us up this crap that is brought to them in a toxic form already, and then we're eating it, in its other toxic form. Are we still
I know. I'm with you 100%, man. I'm with you, and it's exactly right. And, the thing that made it ring loud and clear to me, Bubba, what did he say? He said, you know what? You feed them and you poison them slowly to control the population.
Yeah, I don't think it even goes that deep. Honestly, it might, but I think in the end, it's like what you said a minute ago. It's just profit, man. If you could convince that fucking ant that shit was fucking profitable, or he could learn how to make a profit off of it, he'd cut it so it wasn't as deadly, and he'd sell it to everybody. This is how shit works, man. I don't think that people that are putting yellow 5 in your food are trying to fuck you up.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you got a choice. You can eat a cheeseburger and die, or you can eat cheeseburgers for 10 years and die.
Right. But I mean, in the end, they're just trying to make profit. McDonald's isn't trying to kill you or love you. They're trying to make profit. And whatever's cheap, readily available, and is going to give them the biggest profit is what they're going to go with. Greed. And that's only going to be something bad.
Greed has no conscience.
Okay, I definitely do see that point because, yeah, right, McDonald's is not necessarily trying to kill off its own customer base. But what about the politicians who allow that kind of thing to continue?
As far as them allowing it, you're right. But why do they allow it? Because they got paid. And the guy that's selling the shit, he's not some mad scientist trying to kill people. He's just trying to sell the shit.
And they're also getting paid not to say anything.
Right, you got Mr. Yellow 5 who's making it. He wants to sell it. He goes to the politician. He pays the politician. The politician gets his money. Yellow 5 guy gets to sell his shit to Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew gets to sell their product cheaper. They make money. He makes money. It's just all about making money. I mean, it's dirty, and it's cutthroat, and that's just how it is.
Well, let me just remind you of what you said. And I say it goes all the way back to the people that they're paying for population control. Say what you want. It's trickling downhill. Say whatever you want. Paulie, you got me throwing another damn tangent now, talking about when you said they poison us slowly. And you know what? That stuff, everything has a starting point. So why not those big greedy bastards that are, getting paid and have to have the population control and whatever else is going on this planet? It's got to start somewhere. So yeah, okay, well, maybe so. Maybe McDonald's, they want their profit and everything. But at the end of the day, where did it start and why is it trickled into this whole funnel, or not funnel, but a whole cycle of what's going on? At the end of the day, let's look, start looking at mortality rates over the last 50 years and see what's up. Look at the stuff that was introduced into the marketplace. We could have so many studies going on right now. But again, and you make perfect sense, Bubba. But also, Paula, you made perfect sense with what you said to say, well, wait a minute, somebody higher and mightier, maybe up at the bankster level or the Illuminati or whatever's going on, it has to start somewhere. And it's been going on for years, and they're dumbing us down for an ultimate, not an ultimate end, but something big's coming, and it's happening in our lifetime. That is an absolute fact. It's happening in our lifetime. I don't know what it is, and like I said earlier, I'm scared to death for my grandkids.
Well, I fear for myself. I mean, if it's happening in our lifetime, it's certainly going to be happening sooner than later.
Well, you guys are skinny. I'm a big boy. You can eat off of me for a couple months. Come and get some of this. It doesn't matter. What the hell? I'll just put a little MSG on it, and you'll like my body fat. Anyway.
Well, look, we know for a fact that cigarettes are killing people, and they're doing everything they can to stop you from fucking smoking. And if Marlboro tomorrow could come out with a cigarette that didn't kill you, believe me, they'd love to, and they charge you double for the damn thing.
Sure they would. And if you're paying $4, people in New York City are paying $12 a pack.
Right. And
yeah, but I think, again, you can also look and say, well, for all the harm that those cigarettes cause, there are industries that are definitely thriving because there are people out there who are smoking.
That's right.
I mean, if big pharmacies, and I personally, I always point to big pharmacies and big pharmaceutical, because not only do they make all the drugs that we use to treat our diseases, but they are also the source of where these pesticides come from. Your Bayer aspirin is made by the same people who make diazinon and
they're all chemists. They're all chemists, and one chemical is it's just chemists.
Monsanto's in all of our food.
I mean, they're chemists. They're scientists. They're chemists. They mix shit together and they see what happens. Sometimes they give it to us. Sometimes they kill bugs with it. But I mean, they are just chemists.
Put it all together: food and drug, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
The scientists have always had like a disconnect from what they do. The guys that make bombs, the guys that give us shit that's going to kill us, they have a disconnect. They say they do it in the name of science, and then they don't really give a shit what happens after that.
That's right. They're numb to that. Exactly.
Right, and they're doing it for the science.
Kind of like the pilots flying those unmarked planes.
Exactly. I'm just doing my job. They tell me to hit a switch. I don't ask questions. I fly my damn plane. I hit a switch at 4 o'clock when I'm at this height, and I don't really give a shit as long as I get paid.
And then to bring it back to my ant analogy, the ant doesn't give a shit either. All he's doing is trying to help feed the colony. So when he finds a little bit of my gel on the kitchen counter, he signals with the pheromones and says, "Come and get it, guys."
For all intents and purposes, he thinks he's doing his civilization, his species a favor.
100%, Raunch. You nailed it. He's just doing what he's instinctively programmed to do.
Because life takes the path of least resistance. And once again, it's readily available, it's easy, and here it is. And life always takes the path of least resistance.
Lazy son of a gun.
All of us. Everything's lazy. I know that sharks are supposed to move nonstop. I seen a shark that figured out how to sit in front of the damn jet at this aquarium and didn't move at all, except his tail moved to keep him in place.
So it's only a specific species of the shark that has to move constantly, and that would be the great white.
Yep.
The majority of them constantly move at all times to filter water through their gills.
Just give me a shark steak, all right? I don't give a fuck. Just catch him and kill him. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, all right, guys.
Even sharks, even something that is known for moving nonstop, massive predator, if he can find something or a way to be lazy, he's going to do it too.
That's right.
And, most of the time, the easy way is the bad way. Just like with the ants eating the damn poison, the easy way is the bad way.
Well made point.
Well, doesn't it remind you of the statement that idle are the hands of the devil?
Well, yeah, something like that. It's just, the easy path is always going to be the shitty one, man. The easiest way to eat, like what Dude was talking about with vegetables that are, before they're ripe. Let's make it easy. Fuck, we ain't got time to wait on them to ripe. Grab them damn things, let's eat them.
That's it.
It's bad. It's just, the easy way is not the good way.
Oh, man. What are we doing? I wanted to have fun tonight. Bubba, you better pull us out of this fucking hole in the next 10 minutes. I'll tell you what. Because When we come back, but first, Paulie.
Yes,
thank you.
No, thank you, man.
So anyway, this is Kerncraft. This is a tune after all this talk about food and spray. It's called Zombie Nation. It kind of fits in. Thank you, Paulie. We're going to be coming back and bringing you our first official. We had a teaser last week. We got Bubba Ganoush, and he's going to do what he does best, and that is bring us his views from the social media broadcast world as we bring you Bubba's social spitecast. So keep it right here. RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast, Earthcast Radio. This is a long one, but it's worth every second. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Looking to avoid foods that'll kill you, but still want flavor? Screw it. Eat red meat. A new study shows eating red meat increases your overall risk of death. But do you really want to live a long life if you have to spend it eating vegetables and tofu and crap like that? Didn't think so. Wouldn't you rather grill up a big old steak or throw back a few cheeseburgers and die happy? Red meat. Even though it'll send you to an early grave, it's what's for dinner.
Hi, this is Vince for ShamWow, and you'd be saying wow too if some hooker tried to bite your tongue off. But with ShamWow, you can clean up the blood, the spit. Hey, you need to smack that hoe in the face? Cover your fist with the ShamWow. Bam, you smack her, no marks on your hand. You follow me there, camera guy? Need an ice pack for the bruising? Place the ice on the ShamWow. Hold it up to your mouth, her eye, it doesn't matter. ShamWow gets the job done. ShamWow is made in Germany. Hey, you know the Germans are good at smacking people around. And if you order in the next 15 minutes, because we can't do this all day, I'll give you the number of my attorney in Florida. ShamWow. You'll be saying, wow, I can't believe they dropped the charges. Order now.
If you like it hard and deep, you came to the right place. The RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast.
The RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast. Better than a truckload of dildos at the convent. The Foxxcast. You know if you belong.
Once in every lifetime, there comes a truly revolutionary automobile. Transportation that is an engineering masterpiece. A vehicle with an unpronounceable Swedish name. A car that you assemble yourself. Presenting the new line of automobiles from IKEA.
When we first brought back the box that had our new IKEA parts, I thought to myself, this Flugströna SUV is going to be impossible to assemble.
But with the picture instructions and this Allen wrench, it was a snap. Let's go four-wheeling. Woo! Maybe I shouldn't have had so many parts left over, huh?
Why pay tens of thousands of dollars for an automobile when you can spend a few hundred and a few hours on an IKEA? IKEA Motor Cars. Welcome to the power of pressed board and plastic.
That doesn't look anything like the picture on the box.
Attention! Sperm City is now liquidating our inventory! In these harsh economic times, you don't need to pay top dollar. At Sperm City, we rub out high prices by eliminating the middleman and dealing direct with the manufacturer so you save. And now all sperm must go! You need to fertilize eggs? Then you need sperm and we're blowing it out! With our 10cc, 20cc, and giant 50cc containers, you get more sperm for your dollar. We got new loads arriving every day. Some fresh, some not so fresh. We even got broken condom specials, so don't let the economy get you down. I've got your stimulus package right here at Sperm City. Come on, you know you want it.
RaunchFoxxx, 82 inches of pure listening pleasure. Yeah, we said 82 inches.
Now the NASCAR season's back. I want to go to the racetrack. Wear my Chevy t-shirt and lucky cap. I'm gonna drink me lots of beer, and I'm gonna hoot and holler and cheer, and watch my driver win and take his victory lap. And then he's gonna smoke his tires. The rubber smell can make you cough, but baby, it really gets me off. Can't be much higher. I think I'm tough, but it turns me into a crier when my driver smokes his tires.
Looking for a way to create some potential income while doing the very same things you do every day on the internet? Well, the answer is here. LittleURLs.com. That's LILURLs.com. A link shortening service that pays you to shorten your links on the internet. When text space is limited and you have to shorten your URLs, simply go to LittleURLs.com. That's LILURLs.com. Get the short link and share that link all over the internet and receive commissions for traffic that you generate, and refer users to the Little URL site and get a 20% commission. You've tried the rest, now try the best and get paid to shorten your links with Little URLs. The only place you won't come up short is in your pocket. LittleURLs.com. That's LILURLs.com.
The management would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Except you fuck.
Are you ready?
For what?
Good, old-fashioned, all-American fun.
And now, back to the only white man that made Shaquille O'Neal look away in the men's locker room. RaunchFoxxx, packing more penis than a Lance Bass Elton John sausage fest.
Okay, Fox fans, you want the juicy gossip or maybe just the sad, disgusting truth? Then put your mask and rubber gloves on because the smell is going to knock you out. It's time to stir up the social broadcasting toilet bowl with Bubba Ganoush and Bubba's Social Spitecast right here on the RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast on Earthcast Radio.
The views expressed are those exclusively of Bubba Ganoush and not Earthcast Radio, RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast, Hollywood, or RaunchFoxxx, or anybody else for that matter. It's all Bubba Ganoush. All right, everybody. RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast right here, Earthcast Radio. It is time for Bubba's Social Spitecast. Go for it, buddy. I can't wait for this one.
All right. I hope everybody likes socially inept retards. And I don't care if that term's offensive. They're retards. But they weren't born that way. They became that way. These people start out as normal people. These people that I'm about to talk about are known as casters. They do what they like to call shows. Although it's not really a show. And they do them on these social webcasting websites.
Yeah, so I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy, and I've never done this before. So... yeah, what the social casting thing? What is it? Because after I hear you talk about it, I may want to go check these out. So fill me in because I've never done it before.
All right, there are places on the internet that you may not know of where people can go in and you can hit a button and you can broadcast to groups of strangers, or you can be one of the strangers in the room watching someone broadcast. And then what happens after that is kind of up to you and the people in the damn room. It's usually just a bunch of talking and insults being thrown back and forth, but it can be interesting. Unfortunately, there are side effects to this, like there are to most things that are fairly interesting. The casters in these sites get, I don't know what you want, the big head, the star complex.
Visions of grandeur. Yes.
Huh?
Visions of grandeur, God syndromes. Do you know who I am?
Definitely. Do you know who I am? They'll get, most of the time when this happens, say if somebody's listening, you decided you wanted to start socially broadcasting. You did your shit, and a couple people might come in, 5, 10, maybe even 20. Not a big deal. And next thing you know, if you're halfway interesting, you may have 50 to 100 in there, which is still not a big deal, but it can be to some people. When they wake up and 100 people are looking at them, next thing you know, they're fucking Tom Cruise. One case in particular. There's a fairly mature adult. I'd say he's in his early 40s. He's a grown damn man. He's lived, he's done things, whatever. This is all new to him. He discovered it like a lot of you will probably discover it if you go and you decide to dig around. He decided he wanted to cast. I want to be a star. Well, he found a way. I've known this guy about 8 months. 8 months ago, he was a regular guy, went to work, didn't really do a whole lot. On the weekends, he'd go on these social webcasting sites, and he'd flirt with girls, and he'd talk bad to people, and he'd kind of just piddle around on the damn thing. It wasn't a big deal. Well, the more you get on it, the more you get known. Next thing you know, you start thinking that you're somebody. He definitely started thinking he was somebody. he got kind of cocky and started going after people, so I decided to talk to this guy and see what his problem was. Somehow the conversation led into him shoving something up his ass. And
what do you mean?
I'll explain.
You've got to tell the story.
Here
man.
we go.
How
We
the
got
heck
perfect.
did you-
We got perfectly normal Mr. X here. Perfectly normal, goes to work, does his thing, comes home, drinks a little bit, gets on the internet. A couple weeks into it, now he's bent over his chair shoving something up his ass. That's how this shit works. It's kind of like drugs. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I can do it. I can control it. It's no big deal. I only do it on the weekends. Next thing you know, you're bent over shoving shit up your fucking ass.
What
like
was
it's the
his-
end of goddamn Requiem?
What was his motivation to at 40-some years old to bend over and flirt with his own pooper, man? What was his motivation?
I got a girl to get in front of him and flirt with him slightly, just enough. I mean, she shoves some things in her vagina, but that's what she does anyway. That's not even that big of a deal for her. That's just kind of what she does. And if you are aware of social casting, shoving things into orifices is not new. It's not even shocking anymore. It happens so damn much.
Well, as a disclaimer, these are sites 18 or older.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You will, if penises and buttholes and things being shoved into vaginas bothers you, you won't last long. And if it does bother you and you do make it through, it won't bother you anymore. Because someday you'll see somebody shove something up their ass and you'll go, you know what? I'm not impressed. I've seen it before. Anyway, so back to this guy. 2 weeks in, normal guy. Now he's bent over because there's a girl on camera in front of him, flirting with him, showing off some naked parts, doing some things she probably should be doing. Anyway, so that's motivation enough for him to shove something up his ass because she asked him to do it.
She asked him to do it.
Yeah, she said, if you would like to see more, please insert that mic up your ass.
Whoa, wait. Insert a what?
A microphone.
A microphone! Oh, my God. At first, I thought you were going to say it was one of those bananas with that slimy, gooey stuff from the bad food that Chef Luke... Never mind. Go ahead.
Get them gum. See, now, at this point, I'm still kind of new to this kind of shit. You know, it's funny. Guys, especially guys, we make jokes about shit going up asses all the time. Put my foot up your ass. I'll stick your head up your ass. Drive my car up your ass.
Dude, I'm into broadcasting. This mic is sacred, man. This mic... This is... I'm not going to... go ahead.
As guys, we're always metaphorically shoving something up a fucking ass. You know what I mean? It's just something we say. All right, so it's funny. I'm on this call with these two people, and it's funny. Oh, my God, he's going to shove a mic up his ass. And it's funny to me. I smoke weed. Sure, let's do this. When he stuck the mic up his ass and he said, ow, and I heard him say, ow, it was like being slapped in the face with reality. It hit me that I'm watching a grown man stick something up his ass. And like, what the fuck is it? Like, it was my realization into social casting and just how far people will go to be noticed. All right, we'll jump ahead. Oh, also, he pulled it out of his ass and stuck it into his mouth after he was...
Oh, God.
Yeah, all right, so we'll skip ahead. Everybody knows about this. There's pictures of it. It's all over the place.
Everybody in that social arena obviously does, but these are a lot of people that never broadcast, so I'm sure that they're just, pardon my French, rearing to see it now. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so he's fairly known amongst the casting and watching of the casters community. He starts to really get the big head because people are talking about it.
Of course they are. Of course they are. What are you talking about? When you go to work the next day, you're at the water cooler. Hey, yeah, last night I saw a guy shove a mic up his ass. While in the meantime, this guy thinks he's a star and everybody's loving him.
Right. He's into it too. Hell yeah. Hey, you know me? I'm the guy that stuck the mic up my ass. You know, he's that guy. Hey, do you know who I am? Have you ever seen a mic go up an ass? Well,
yeah, Mr. Microphone relived.
So it's a couple months later now, and he has decided he's going to become an alcoholic now. He's going to play off the butthole fame and try to see if he can turn it into a career of social casting, and decided to make himself an alcoholic so he'd have some kind of fucking identity. I.e., he only gets watched when he's drunk. So anyway, now he gets shit-faced drunk on wine, of all fucking things. Giant bags of wine. So he gets drunk. And he goes
bagged wine.
He goes into these diva tirades. I mean, he really does go into this Diana Ross shit where he's expecting people to give him money and send him things, and do you know who I am, and girls show me your titties, and guys kiss my ass, bow down and kiss the ring, and he believes this shit because he's got 100 people who come in and watch his ass get drunk.
100 people?
100 at best.
Now I've had more people than that at a backyard barbecue. Come on. Yeah.
His delusions run so deep that there's nothing you can say to him that'll pop it. You just can't do nothing. You can't do it. And somebody who watches this shit, who happens to live in the general area of him, came and sought him out and found him and waited outside of a liquor store until the dude left his house and then said, hey, I recognize you, you're so-and-so. And that was it. Validated. The motherfucker got recognized on the street. Dude took him out and spent money on him. Now he is off and
no,
running.
I thought you were going to say, like, hey, would you sign this picture? Instead, he's like, hey, would you shove my mic up? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a
All
mic
right.
for you. See what you can do with it. So now he is a big star. And I recommend anyone who may be listening, if you have nothing to do, believe me, it is more interesting than anything you're going to find on your fucking TV when you watch this idiot, fucked up, half-toothless, delusional, middle-life crisis, half-bald Canadian go into a tirade about...
Canadian. You had to get into Canadian. Yeah, well, they drink. They like to drink.
Let's throw that out there. He is Canadian. But yeah, I mean, watch this motherfucker. If you like to go onto these sites, you don't have to sign it. You can be completely anonymous. You can just watch. You don't have to be noticed. You don't have to type. Like Vaughn TV, you ain't got to do shit. You ain't got to sign up for nothing. You ain't got to click nothing.
I can't imagine why somebody wouldn't want to come in and say, hey, it's me. I am so-and-so, and I live here, and this is where I'm from, and I'm here to watch you shove a microphone up your ass.
Go in and tell him that he's a retard and you think that he should die. Go in and tell him you think he's great. Go in and tell him that you want to marry him. It doesn't matter. I mean, because he don't care.
There's no such thing. No such thing as bad attention.
No, it doesn't. Exactly. He doesn't care. No matter why you're in there, the fact is that you're in there, and that's all that matters to him because he's a big star, and you people are the ones that make him that way.
Well, like you know what, Bubba? You've also made 2 points in the last week. As I've watched your social cast religiously for a couple of months now, but in the last week, you made 2 really, really good points about this guy that I think are worth bringing up. And now the first of which is that he is constantly touting his view count, that he's got 220 some odd thousand views, and he thinks that that's the reason why he's generating revenue for the site and why he's so important.
Well, remember this, guys. They got to click on the
brilliantly.
ads. They got to click on the ads. 220,000 means nothing. It basically means he doesn't have a fucking job and he's on there day and night if he ever makes it to work in the first place. Everything's relevant. Everything's relevant. It's not because people flock. It's because he sits there and drinks and pukes and passes out, and it's nobody's there for entertainment value. That's for sure.
We're waiting to
watch it. They are there for entertainment value. They're there to watch the train wreck. But here's what Bubba pointed out. He pointed out that of those 220 some odd thousand views, only 200 people have bothered to follow this guy and to show any kind of loyalty to him whatsoever.
Excellent point.
Motivation it is that they follow him. Just fewer than 0.1% is watching this guy.
Excellent
on a regular
point.
basis.
Yeah. So the rest of them are probably ashamed to let anybody know they're even watching.
Right, and we're watching
by what they've seen in this dude.
It's pure morbid curiosity. It's
so
one at a time, guys. You're talking over top of each other. Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
It's pure morbid curiosity that drives these social media platforms. It is absolute. You do not go in there for the most part because these are good people or because they're talented, or the shows that get the most views are the absolute fucking train wrecks. They're the ones that are shocking to watch, that this is a human going through this shit, and it ruins lives. It definitely ruins lives. People get the cops called on them. People, they call their jobs. They send things to their houses. And it's absolute pure morbid curiosity. We want to see how bad it gets, even though those of us who don't want to admit it, and we say that
well,
we're
it's the gutter. It's the gutter of broadcasting, but you do have your Spreacasts and your Ustreams and your upgraded stuff where there are plenty of professional broadcast with good quality information. But if you want to step out, if you want to go to the ghetto, check out any of these little social media platforms where anybody with a camera and a microphone
definitely talent
and a pizza.
On some of them.
Yeah.
There's definitely talent on some of them, but the talent will never stand compared to someone that's drunk and about to drive their car into their fucking swimming pool. You know what I mean? That's always going to draw more. I mean, the guy over here could be the greatest singer ever or be funny.
Well, again, Bubba, I'm sorry, but that's your opinion. I know plenty of successful people that could give a flying fuck less about that stuff.
Oh, yeah. But I just mean like overall. Like, say if you could televise an execution over televising, I don't know, the Super Bowl.
Miss America pageant. Yeah, let's watch fucking Hussein's neck snap. Forget Miss Maryland. Yes.
Right. I mean, we're morbid people, man. And
we are.
And we want to watch that kind of shit. And a lot of us don't like to admit it or we hide it. But I mean, we are morbid.
All right, I'm going to admit it too. I have watched all that stuff. And sooner or later I have to leave. But I have watched it. But I got to be honest with you, I can't find it myself to watch it, to sit there and watch somebody get screwed up and hurt themselves, which is why I leave. But while I'm there, I'm not entertained. I'm thinking, dude, you're killing yourself.
you're a good guy, and I was going to say that there are some truly caring people who are watching going, man, come on, man. I mean, what the hell's wrong with you? Or they're actually trying to talk to them and trying to say, stop doing this. And, I mean, you're just not going to do anything because they've got stars in their eyes, and as long as they're, killing themselves, then people are going to watch them.
I mean, give me an example of somebody that's got more views than him.
Glenn's got more views than him.
What
How about you, Bubba?
Yeah, what about you? Look at put it off on somebody else. But anyway, yeah, you're right though.
Yeah, I got more views than he does.
Yeah, but again, you're right though. The social media thing it's better than reality TV. It's better than the $100 some a month you pay for a full boat on Dish or DirecTV or whatever. It's real. It's not even scripted reality TV. It's real.
Yeah, it is nasty. It is brutal. It's in your face. It's disgusting. It's funny, sometimes intentionally, most of the time unintentionally. It's humans, man. It's humans on fucking display.
But I'll say this, VaughnLive.tv has a great lineup. They've got different channels for different things. There's all kinds, but at any time of the day or night, you can see this stuff happening at 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning, folks. It's not late night TV. It's it's no holds barred. Anything goes, and it's VaughnLive.tv, which is what we're talking about this week. We're going to talk about lots of social media platforms and introduce you to a lot of them as you listen to the podcast, so you can go out yourself and choose your own poison.
You got to check them out. Definitely, you got to get out, check them out. They're worth looking at. They're worth looking at because you just never know what you're going to see. And like you just said, on most of them, there's a myriad of things to choose from. You don't always have to watch the guy shove the microphone up his butthole. There might be someone playing an instrument. There might be somebody talking about social consciousness, or there's just no telling what's going to be on there.
Playing the instrument.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I can see it now. Hey, Roach, did you see what happened Saturday night? What? Some guy was sliding a trombone slide up his ass, and it was there. Yeah, playing the instrument. You know what, though? I mean, yeah, it's like anything else. I've been on those sites for 10 years, broadcasting, doing stuff. I use them. I've made money on some of them. I do them to practice shticks for other stuff when we're doing real radio or real production or the podcast or whatever, like we're sitting here hanging out doing now. But it needs to be said that if you're listening and you're one of the people that sit there either as a guest or you watch from outside the room and you don't come in, you're twice as bad as the one that does come in because you're just sitting there waiting for something bad to happen. Nobody wants to say, oh, let's watch him sober up and stand up and walk out and not fall over and trip.
Let's get a job.
And not fall asleep. Yeah, let's let and they lived happily ever after and they ride off into the sunset. No, that's not what they're there for.
I'm a viewer, a full-time viewer. I go into these sites, I watch things, and I'll admit that what I watch for is the conflict, because in addition to having all these various individuals doing their individual things, everybody's also aware of everybody else. And sooner or later, people's paths cross. And some of these guys, especially these train wreck guys, like the guy you're talking about, Bubba, they're really only interesting when someone else makes them interesting. Like, for example, when you start screwing around with this guy, when you start, calling him up on Skype and trying to annoy the hell out of him, that's when it's fun to watch, because then he's in the throes of the conflict, and that's when reality is slapping him in the face, when somebody's telling him, hey, look, dude, you're really not all that big, and he has to sit there and cope with that. I mean, that's when it's really the most interesting. I mean, sure, you can count on the guy to get drunk and pass out in front of the camera on a nightly basis, but it's when somebody else comes along and starts fucking with him that makes it all worth watching in the long run.
Bottom line, guys, a couple hundred people at a show, nobody's that big, including myself. You get a couple hundred people, so what? It is what it is. It's just a slice of the pie out there on the internet, and as you're about to find out as we go on each week here with Bubba, he's going to turn you onto lots of things and lots of people. But God knows we got several months worth of stories, and there's going to be new ones that are going to develop while we're doing this on the old ones, Bubba.
Oh, yeah, shit, exactly. Right now, while we're talking, there's somebody sitting there thinking, okay, how do I one up the microphone in the butt? And they're going to do it. They're going to figure out a way, and they're going to do it. They're going to try at least.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the grown man who crapped his pants, because somebody... we'll get into all that, but...
Wait, let's go ahead and tell them it's the grown man who dresses like a clown who shit his pants.
Yeah,
that'll be...
Yep, and then you got another guy that dresses like a clown. It's probably shit his pants before, but nobody even knows it. But anyway, well...
That grown man who dresses clowns... You'll love social broadcasting.
That's right. If you're afraid of clowns, these guys aren't going to help you. That's for sure.
They're definitely not going to reinforce.
And as you say, we have not used one name or even a username tonight, but we have given you a location, vaughnlive.tv. If you want to check it out, just go and watch all the shows until you find something that makes you sick.
Exactly. You'll find it. Click around, and you'll see why or who I'm talking about. It's pretty damn evident. You'll see.
Or something that you enjoy.
Right. If buttholes.
That's right. Whatever you're into. All right, so there you go, folks. That is the first of many episodes or inserts or additions to Bubba's social Spikecast, and it's real. Well, we are not making this stuff up. People say, "Show me photos," or "It didn't happen." Just go look. Just go look, and then Bubba will be your. He'll be your tour guide for the next.
I'll be your guide through magic. Yeah, come on. I know all about the buttholes. I'll tell you everything you need to know.
All right, brother. Well, thank you so much. There you go, Paulie. I hope that made your night. I'm sure it
definitely did. This was worth the wait. This was definitely worth the wait. It was Bubba in his element. This was easily worth the wait. I'm glad we got to be a part of this.
Yes, and 2 hours and 5 minutes later, that's episode 15, and that's a wrap. So, folks, make sure you subscribe to us. You can catch us on Podomatic at RaunchFoxxCast.podomatic.com. Also, iTunes, Spreaker.com. You can go to the RaunchFoxx.com page, YouTube, and, of course, you can check us out on Facebook as well. So, Paulie, Bubba, and, of course, a special thanks to Chef Lou, who pretty much screwed me up.
Ruined my appetite for food for the next 2 days. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I got some bad stuff getting ready to cook up right now. He ain't going to deter me none. But it does open your eyes,
you're 135 pounds. Go ahead and eat some bad shit. It can't hurt you. You're fine. You're fine. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much. Episode 15 is in the can. And you have been listening to the RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast. You're on Earthcast Radio with our sponsor, LilURLs.com, LILURLS.com. So on behalf of myself, Bollywood, and Bubba Ganoush, we're going to say good night, good day. It doesn't matter whenever you're listening. It's on demand. That's a wrap. Thanks a lot, guys.
And that's all, folks.
That wraps up another edition of the RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast. If you're a glutton for punishment, keep coming back for more, and don't forget to check out RaunchFoxxx.com. The RaunchFoxxx Foxxcast. Seen and heard around the web and the main vein of Earthcast Radio.